gallstones. Sounds fucking horrible.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video on MVP Sports. My name is Jake Neverman, and I am here with my beautiful co-host while he sips on his wine. If you know, he put it in that cup because he didn't want people to know what he's
YouTube
drinking.
doesn't know.
He doesn't know. Dave
It's the algorithm. It's the algorithm, Jake. You gotta hide from the algorithm.
We doing good, Dave? We doing good? We powering through?
We are. We're powering through, man. Another day, another set of clothes. We're not doing these all on the same day because I'll be like 6 hours straight recording.
They'll know.
It ain't the old days.
They'll know. We did 2 each, and then our predictions will be another day. So check out the videos if you haven't below on the channel for every division. We did hour-long videos for every division in the NBA. We'll also be having a predictions video for our seeds, our awards, all that. Check that down below whenever it comes up. And if you want to know when it does go live, if it isn't live already, hit that bell down below and get notified. Also subscribe. And down below is our Patreon and channel memberships if you want to get content like this all year long, earlier than it'll be seen on YouTube. Hit those buttons and check those out. And also down below, our Discord. Join the greatest community in the world. It is popping already for the NBA season, and it will be throughout. And if you're not interested in the NBA, hit it down below and find whatever sport you are, because we have every single sport, real life, everything basically down there. Everything gets talked about in the Discord.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll do it for the housekeeping, and we will move into the last division in the NBA. Why did I just forget the name of the division? My mind just went. The name of the division is the Northwest Division. Sorry. We are going to start with the Utah Jazz. We will start with their offseason moves. The players lost. They traded Derek Favors to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they lost Gilgeous Niang, the Philadelphia 76ers. Love me some.
Jake, that's a pretty big loss, I think, in your mind.
He is a dagger. Like, we haven't had a 3-point shooter who can knock down shots at the rate that he can consistently. That's not named Steph Curry. Okay. Literally was about to say that. It's not named Steph Curry or Danny Green. Like, isn't it funny how you bring in like
consistency and Danny Green?
You bring in Daryl Morey and you just get shooters.
So I don't want to burst your bubble.
Yeah.
But if you want to know the reason he's not on this team anymore, may I direct you to the playoffs?
Yeah. Not a Sixers video, but I don't think Gilgeous Niang plays big minutes in the playoffs because I
don't know that he should play minutes in the playoffs.
I think they'll get other people because I don't think Ben Simmons will be on the team. That's not the video we're doing. We're talking about the Utah Jazz and the players they took in. They got the steal of the draft. I'm sorry.
Sir?
I know Sharif went after him, but Jared Butler went 40th overall in the second round. In free agency, they did re-sign Mike Conley. They signed Hassan Whiteside and Rudy Gay like it is 2013 all over again, and they traded for Eric Paschall. So, the Utah Jazz, I think most people have them predicted as a top 3 team, top 4 team in the West this year. They're going to be a very good regular season team. I don't know if this is a consensus pick. I think Quinn Snyder is one of the best coaches in the NBA. I think he is spectacular. I think he gets crapped on a little bit because of their playoff performances, but him just getting them to that stage, I think, is a big win for this team. And also, interesting note is that they signed Zaire Wade, Dwayne Wade's son, to a G League contract today. So, you know, love to see it. Honestly, and this isn't sarcasm, I love to see a dad like that using his position to get his son a pro contract. Seriously.
Nepotism's pretty cool.
It happens in every single industry.
I got my job.
Exactly. Not how I got my job. Shout out to my work ethic, David. Yeah, so with the with this team, what do we think overall? Like, is this team can they get to a championship this year, or are they just, we're going to be a top seed and get out in the second round, maybe make the conference finals?
No, I mean, the team is better than they were last year. Derek Favors was showing his age. Gilgeous Niang was a defensive liability out there. They went ahead and they addressed both of those problems. They got Eric Paschall, who I think flew under the radar for a lot of the season because, honestly, Golden State was an afterthought as soon as people were like, oh, Clay's gone. Never mind. They're whatever. I know they made it. I know they made a good push at the end, but I don't give a shit. I think Eric is a good player, and I think that he's going to be big for this team. This is one of the filthiest bench units you could possibly put together.
Yes.
Between a backcourt of Butler and Clarkson, and then, I'm assuming Ingles will be back to his bench role.
Yes.
Paschall, and then I don't even know who they're going to finish with if they're going to play
Whiteside,
small.
maybe?
And they could go Whiteside if they go big, or they use Paschall as a 5 if they want to go small.
They did draft Udoka Uzubuki. Don't forget that.
I know, and I hated that pick at the time. I still hate that.
Still hate it, yeah.
It's such shit. It was such a waste of a pick. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Elite measurables can go suck my dick. It was an awful pick. I I think that the point I'm trying to make here is the fact I almost got it straight. I almost kept it. You had to ruin it for me, Jake. I had to look up. The point I'm trying to make is this is one of the best constructed rosters in the NBA.
Yes.
Top to bottom, they have all the right players, all the right pieces. Donovan Mitchell is just someone who raises his game to a different level in the playoffs every single year. We've seen him thrive, and it's just there's something special about him, and I'm just super excited to see what he does next. They seem to have found some sort of rhythm offensively. The only question, the big question always is it's matchup. It's matchup with Rudy Gobert.
But, yeah.
For me, it's the matchup with Rudy Gobert. It's what do you do? Do you have a plan for how to play him against different teams? And when they do X, are you going to do Y? Or are you going to do Z? What's your plan? Like, that's the whole thing. It's just, I feel like that's this team's, like, linchpin is just they have to know the Rudy Gobert matchup in the playoffs. Otherwise, they are doomed to fail.
Yes, they need to get a second center during the season at some point, or somebody who can play the 5 to basically X out Rudy Gobert big minutes. Because, yes, I know he had that one play on the perimeter, but he is so poor guarding the perimeter.
He was coached to stand in the fucking paint.
I get that.
And then when you watch the Olympics, he magically was a goddamn defensive god out there. You tell me what the difference was. Could be scheme, could be coaching.
No, that he can't do.
You just got done praising Quinn Snyder.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you have to say, weird, right?
Yeah, I would never give Rudy Gobert credit. I'm sorry. It just will never happen. He's an undeserving defensive player of the year last year.
Sure.
It's just simple. Listen, people, we have to have agendas against some people. We are media, Dave. We have to hate some players. And that is Rudy Gobert for me, okay? Remember him touching all those microphones, Dave? And you're here defending him?
It was fucking hilarious. He saved hundreds of thousands of lives by doing that.
Yeah, he's the only guy who's capable of shutting down the league, shutting down the country, basically. Yeah.
How dumb is it that America shut down because the fucking NBA had the balls to shut down?
Because the French player got...
Good on you, Rudy Gobert, for raising awareness and shutting down the league and saving hundreds of thousands of American lives. Thank you.
Wow, that just took a turn. I think the big question mark for this team is Mike Conley.
Am I wrong?
Yes, but the question mark for this team is Mike Conley's health to me. I think Mike Conley consistently in the playoffs, if he can stay healthy, this team is different with him. He had a very good year last year when he was healthy. He's the problem with him being hurt is that when he's out, the secondary ball handling from somebody else when Donovan Mitchell isn't on the court is somewhat poor. Like besides Jordan Clarkson was fantastic last year. Let me get that out. 6th man of the year. Jordan Clarkson and Donovan Mitchell, you need somebody else. And Mike Conley is that somebody else. And I feel like if Mike Conley was fully healthy last year, maybe they do go deeper in the playoffs. I question long-term. I think they got him back on a good contract. I think it was needed for him to come back to this team because they're not the same team without him. And you saw that last year in the playoffs, simply when he missed time. The Rudy Gobert question is a very good question to me. I think it is what it is at this point. And I think here's the difference, though, is I think they could win a finals with Rudy Gobert at center because I just truly do think that he is that good at the rim, and the center is able to, in today's NBA, and in basketball in general, the center controls defense, and that is why this team is so good defensively year in and year out. I know Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell are great perimeter defenders, but if you have an elite rim protector, the best rim protector in the NBA, and Rudy Gobert, like, that's what you need at that back. Now, finding consistent offense the other way, the ball movement on this team from the system that Quinn Snyder set up, it's porn. It's literally porn. Like, it is basketball porn. Like, when you're watching this team swinging around the outside, people call it at times unnecessary, but the way that it's woven into this team and the skip passes that they use on this team and the schemes that they use just to create open shot after open shot after open shot. Like, guys like Royce O'Neal were just bucket getters on this team last year.
Absolutely thriving.
Yeah, because they were just great. Yeah, I think you're right. The big question is the backup center. I think Jordan Clarkson does what Jordan Clarkson does. He has found his role. He is their ball handler off the bench. That just is what he is. I don't think he'll win 6th man of the year again, probably. He might, but
Nah, that's going to Miami.
Is it? Tyler Hero?
I think so.
You think Tyler Hero's going to do it? I think Tyler Hero starts by the end of the year.
He might. We'll see.
We'll see. One player to buy and one player to sell for the Utah Jazz, Dave.
I mean, I'm 112% buying in on our draft pick in Jared Butler.
Yes.
Top 15 talent in the draft class. Absolutely undescribably frustrated the fact that he didn't go higher. But again, GMs are fucking idiots. So thank you, Utah, for taking a chance on one of the most talented players in the nation last year.
Shocker that one of the front offices that put together one of the best constructed rosters in the league took the chance on Jared Butler. It's just weird how that works.
Good move. Yeah, I think him on the bench makes a big difference. Honestly, I do. You're talking about that need for extra ball handlers. Again, they have Joe Ingles off the bench. They kind of bring him in the starting lineup depending on what they need at the given time. But he's a pro. Jared Butler's a fucking pro already as a rookie. I goddamn love the kid. So yeah, I'm 100% up on him. And I'm down on Whiteside. I don't think he's their backup center. I don't think he's the answer to any problems.
Yeah.
I think he's there to soak up minutes until they can find a better answer.
Okay, that's fair. I will sell Eric Paschall because I just don't think he finds consistent minutes on this team. I'm not very high on him. And I will buy Elijah Hughes, my Syracuse boy.
Oh.
I think that he could break into this rotation this year and find some consistent shooting on the wing. He can shoot the ball very well. His consistency is going to be his problem. But in this system, I think he can find open shots and knock them down. I've loved him ever since Syracuse. You see what O'Shea Brissett is doing. Elijah Hughes is just about the same mold, less defensively, but more offensively with him. I'm interested to see what he does this year. It's definitely his make or break year. I think if he doesn't break into the rotation this year, he probably starts bouncing around from G League team to G League team. What?
I just realized I forgot when we were talking about bench units. They're still Rudy fucking Gay, man.
Yeah.
Like they can 100% run small with Rudy goddamn Gay at the 3 or the 4. Like this team is filthy. Filthy, Jake.
The next team that we will move on to is the Portland Trailblazers. Players lost in the offseason. They traded Derrick Jones. Why? That is an error on here. It says they traded Derrick Jones Jr. to the Portland Trailblazers. That didn't happen. Where's Derrick Jones Jr., Dave?
He might be a Chicago Bull today.
Chicago. In free agency, they lost Zach Collins to the San Antonio Spurs. It's not a loss because he hasn't played. Enes Kanter to the Boston Celtics and Carmelo Anthony to the LA Lakers. They drafted Greg Brown, 43rd overall.
The athlete.
Yeah. They signed Cody Zeller.
He's not a basketball player. He's an athlete.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of insulting to athletes, but they signed Cody Zeller, Tony Snow, and Ben McLemore, and they re-signed Norman Pah, and they traded for Larry Nance Jr. So
you're missing a name.
Am I missing a name? The website's lying.
Dennis Smith Jr.
Oh, yeah, I'm not missing anything. The biggest pickup is by far Larry Nance Jr. Larry Nance Jr. was
awesome.
One of he missed some games last year, I believe, because he had an illness or something. So hopefully, I think he lost a lot of weight towards the end of last year because he had some type of illness. Hopefully, he's back. I believe he is this season, fully back to what he was. It's something that goes on the radar. First of all, we know he's a defensive monster, and we know that athletically he's a freak. His ability to stretch the floor just doesn't get talked about, I don't think, because people looked at him in his time in LA and he's just athletic and he dunked a lot, and that was about the end of his game in LA. He's added such a consistent jumper to his game. He is one of the best role-playing bigs in the league. We had talked about him in the Discord for a long time about some contending team needs to go out and get him. It's a very big pickup for this team to get a big man like him who can play. Hopefully, Yusuf Nurkic is going to be healthy this year. Dame and CJ, we assume, are going to be on the team the entire year. We'll see how they start out. If they start out rough,
they wouldn't be.
Well, Dave, if they start out rough, they are going to trade one of them. I don't know who it's going to be, but if they start out rough, and that means rough, like 5 and 10, but then I don't think they will because Damian Lillard is just that goddamn good that he's
too good to lose.
Just doesn't do that. Yeah. So, outlook for this team. Where do you think they're going this season? What are the expectations?
Same place to go every year, Jake. Second round of the playoffs. That is the answer for this Portland Trailblazers team.
They made one conference finals, didn't they?
I know, but I'm just like, that's just the default answer at this point for me and the Blazers. I'm exhausted watching them do this because shout out to LA for just having one of the best drafts. Like, they just had a stretch of players who were just incredibly talented throughout the entire draft, and they all moved on and had much more success outside of LA. So credit there. I don't know who the guys who were scouting that entire time, but credit to you guys because, again, Larry Nance Jr., phenomenal player. And Jake, you didn't even mention, he's a great facilitator. Yeah, he's a great big man passer, which is perfect because Nurkic is a pretty good passer out of the post as well. So that means they don't have to change up their schemes when they're switching between centers because Nurkic will always miss time.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I can't wait till Larry Nance plays a small ball 5 with Covington next to him. Oh, listen. First of all, I think this is the definition of insanity of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Yes.
This team will be somewhat fun to watch because Nance and Covington, the jive there with Dame and CJ.
Can you imagine the rim defense?
Oh, exactly. It's amazing.
Come at me.
But and you said jokingly, like, I wish that they would trade one of them.
Yeah.
That is the answer to this team, though, is trading one of them. Now, which one do you want to trade? Do you want to get the large return that you get in Damian Lillard, or do you want to get kind of a plug and play different scheme look with trading CJ? I'm not sure with this team because, again, they're going to be top 5 in the West, probably win in the first round and make the second round and get walked over by one of the Lakers or the Suns or whatever it is. Or the Jazz, yeah.
Clippers if Kawhi's back.
If Kawhi's back. I have a tough time with this team. Their draft picks over the last couple years, like Nasir Little, just has done nothing.
Breakout year. Okay, he's had personal heartbreak in his family, COVID situations, and injuries. Like he literally has been like the full gauntlet of like what could go wrong did go wrong. I've read a whole. I went down a lot of articles on him and interviews on him, like really rooting for him at this point. Like I hated him in college because I thought he was a sack of shit who just could not figure out how to play fucking defense in college, and he's one of the most gifted players. Couldn't shoot, couldn't defend, got yelled at and embarrassed by his coach on a national level.
Yeah.
But at this point, yeah, I'm 100% rooting for him. I think this is the year where he's got an opportunity to do something, but like he has to do a lot because this is a team looking for a conference finals. Like you said, this is a team with those deep playoff run aspirations. So yeah, right out the gates, not great because you almost have no return there. Greg Brown, I'll be damned if he fucking does anything this year at the NBA level.
CJ Ellaby, like
CJ can stretch it,
but
else? They already have guys who can do that better than him.
Yes, exactly. Trendon
Watford though, low key their best pickup.
Two-way.
He'll get signed full time. Don't worry about it. He's so fucking good.
Bringing in guys like Patrick.
He's the Naz Reid of this team.
Shout out Sean.
Shout out LSU.
Well, shout out Sean because that was his boy. Oh no, not Nasir Little. No, you said Naz Reid, didn't you?
He would be Trendon Watford would be the Naz Reid of this team.
Okay, sorry.
AKA
Naz Reid,
the kid who comes in who's been overlooked so much because of his obvious flaws, but he's just so fucking good at what he does that he's still valuable to the team and really helpful on the floor.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about draft picks who are finally going to pay off, it's Anthony Simons.
Oh yeah, but
we've been calling breakout years for 3 years in a row now.
But it's not going to happen.
I'm fucking sick of it.
It's not going to happen if the team
move CJ and let him get minutes.
Exactly.
It's the easiest answer. He's got such a pure fucking shot. He has no issues pulling the trigger on it. Just move CJ. Yeah. Just move him. That's the right answer.
I think that's
you
what
picked up Norm Powell. He played great for you. Like this team has everything it fucking takes to go into the playoffs.
Listen,
and make a run.
I'm just saying, no, this won't happen. But if I know it was discussed the CJ for Ben deal. Could you imagine a lineup of Dame, Anthony, Covington, Nance, and Ben? That team would be just three elite defenders, and then guys who just get buckets like Damon.
And then efficient shooters. Yeah, you're getting trebuchets from fucking 35 feet out
by the
there.
Way,
like
never will happen. Sixers will not trade Ben for CJ. It's just simply not happening. But I get the idea behind it, and I get they are trying to make moves. But like at the end of the day, I think we're both in agreement here. Norm Powell coming back is great for them. I just don't.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
I just don't think that this team has aspirations past the second round unless, like last year with Phoenix, the flip of the coin falls in there. Now, that is the only if with this team is if things fall consistently right for them, they could be that surprise team that gets to the finals if everything
they have
goes
the talent.
Right for them.
Yeah,
agreed.
So they've got enough talent to compete against top teams. Underrated pickup in Tony Snell, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to mention
he got obliterated in the playoffs, but outside of that, he was a really good shooter and a decent defender.
Regular season, he'll be fine. He'll eat minutes when people need off days.
There you go.
Buy one and sell one for the Portland Trailblazers, Dave.
As always, I'm buying Anthony Simons because I'm fucking sick of it. And selling, I will sell on. I like all their fucking guys. I'm digging deep on their roster at this point. Oh, I'm not selling this guy, but Cody Zeller, low key, great pickup for their backup center.
He played well. Yeah, in Charlotte last year, he played well.
I think that's actually pretty good for them. But I'll sell Greg Brown. I don't think I think he's they had so many guys who could have came in and made a difference year one, and he's just not one of them.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll buy Larry Nance because I've been speaking him for the last couple of years. I just think he's tremendous, and him finally coming off the LA team with the pressure, going to a Cleveland team that was not competing was really good for him for growing his game. And now being
Dad's
able to,
legacy there.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
the
now,
story was there.
And now being able to go to a contending team in the Portland Trailblazers is very good and perfect for his career. And I'll sell Nasir Little because I just don't have faith in him. I think he is what he is. I think he is what he is at this point. Again, I hope he has a perfect year and he does ball out. I'm never, not never. Most of the time, I'm not rooting for players to fail. I'm definitely not rooting for him to fail. I just don't.
He's got holes in his game.
Yeah,
that's
fair. I didn't like him killing in the draft. I don't like him now. Going to the next team in the division, it is the Denver Nuggets. The only player they lost in free agency was JaVale McGee to the Phoenix Suns. Players they added, Dave.
Yeah.
Deshaun Bones Highland, 26th overall. They stole him from my Sixers. I can't believe it. Oh, I was so mad. And Mike Malone already said that he had low expectations for him, and now he's saying he just has to play. He just has to play.
I love how that was, like, as a head coach, how insulting is that? Like,
yeah, I had no expectations.
I had low expectations
for our first round pick. Like, I had no expectations.
What does that say about your front office and head coach tandem? Like, are they talking? Is there any? Interesting.
They re-signed Will Barton, re-signed JaMychal Green, signed Austin Rivers, and signed Jeff Green. So,
that's the one.
Jeff Green is the big one.
How the fuck is Jeff Green worth 80 cents on the dot? Like, Jeff Green's so fucking good. He played great last year. He is such a rise to the occasion player. Yes, he's inconsistent at times, and that is probably why he's so cheap. But
he was so good last year.
So fucking valuable to have a stretch five who can defend 4 positions on the court at any given time. He can switch on everything, and he can fucking shoot. Yep. And you'll get the random nights where he forgets that he's Jeff Green and he thinks he's LeBron James.
You get that 3 times a year. 3 times a year, he'll just ball. First of all, I know it will never happen. This team, well, first we should acknowledge Jamal Murray will probably miss like half to 3/4 of the season. I think it's like that. So that's a big loss.
I'd say All-Star break probably is a reasonable time to look at for a return.
Yeah, that's fair. It'll never happen. But if I could get a front court of like 15 minutes a game of Jeff Green and Bobo, just give it to me. Just give it to me. Because Jeff Green, speaking on him more, as we talked about it a long time in a video, I think it was with Ricky, how his career would be so different if people identified that he was a small ball 5 from the start.
Yes.
Because that is what he is. That is his role. He shined in it last year. I think that's what they'll have him do on this team. I think when Jokic comes out, he'll come in, and at times he'll be playing the role even with Jokic on the court, because Jokic plays perimeter-centric at times with how tremendous he is in the passing game. I'm interested in the guard position for them to start the year, and then when Jamal Murray comes back, who's going to play the backup? I assume it'll be Campazzo. But at times we see he can be he's very small. We'll go with that. He's very small.
He's annoying as shit, though.
My God, brother, he's literally TJ McConnell. Him and TJ are just like, like you just said it, like you just are playing basketball and you're like, oh my God, go away. Like, just leave me alone. That is like Campazzo to a T. Will Barton, who missed some time for them last year.
Yep. Will he be healthy again? Will he stay healthy this year? Because he's big.
He's huge. Who's and Michael Porter Jr., obviously the massive extension, which is a little bit smaller than Woj tweeted because he wanted those interactions because the $207 million. I believe
if you hit every bonus, sure.
I believe he's worth that money. Obviously, with the health. Health is the big thing with his back and his body. I think every one of his brothers, siblings have torn their ACL.
Yeah, we joked about it being hereditary, and then it turns out that every single person in his family has snapped ACLs.
Yeah.
Every single one, at least one, some up to 6.
Yeah,
that does not say good things.
As soon as I do it twice, I'd be like, you know what? It was nice. I'll coach. I'll do something else.
I'm literally, if he has kids, they should wear knee braces from age 3 on.
Shouldn't have hands to play basketball. That's just simple. Shouldn't have hands to play basketball.
Self-defense for them.
Yeah. This team is interesting to me. I think Marcus Howard played a little bit towards the end of last year. He's on a 2-way this year. He looked okay at times. Obviously, in college, he was a bucket, like just a bucket. That's what he was.
Yeah, it's a different role.
Yeah. PJ Dozier, Monte Morris. Monte Morris has quietly been a top 5 backup guard in the league for 3 years.
I was
going to say, top 3 years.
It's literally Clarkson, him, And then
TJ.
it was Dragic,
TJ.
but now Dragic is aged out and injured last year, so
It's
there's
TJ. Don't
TJ.
TJ.
I'll just say it, TJ.
TJ dropping triple doubles like it's nothing in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Just the GOAT. Shout out TJ McConnell. The question we have to ask.
Derrick
Two
Rose
guys. What?
was the third one I was going to say, but you can say TJ. I'll say Derrick Rose.
I'll say TJ. Bones Highland and Bol.
Huge opportunity.
Both
for
of them.
Bones.
Well, I would say
Bull. I guarantee you, Bull still doesn't average 10 minutes a night.
I would fully
Zero
agree.
fucking chance.
No.
I think that Malone hates the fucking meme pick of Bull and wants him off the fucking roster. Literally 3 years ago, he wishes he never would have been picked on this team. This was a front office pick. This was not a Mike Malone.
Fair. Okay, yeah, we'll stick to Bones then if that's your feelings on Bol.
No, you can give your thoughts on him because I love him. I've been preaching him. I've been talking about him so fucking much. Every single year I've been talking about how give him the opportunity to play basketball. Literally, you're holding him down and you're just ruining this kid's fucking chances by refusing to play him.
Yeah.
He is an agile 7-footer who can stroke it from three. He's not a center. He's literally like a shooting guard or a wing out there. The way he takes his shots, the way he ball handles. And again, it's like, I wish, give me a different universe and put him on the fucking Thunder. Like, this kid would be putting up like 18 a night, no problem.
Listen, let him play next to Embiid and just watch him and Embiid play.
Let him feast.
Let him play on a team that just lets him get the ball and shoot. That's literally all. But
well, now he's like mentally fucked. That's what I mean. Like, he's mentally fucked because Mike Malone hates him.
Exactly.
He gets on the court and he's like, I have 3 minutes to make an impact, so I'm taking every shot that hits my hands.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I just would love to see like a floor spacing bench unit of like Bones, Barton, Jeff Green, and Bol with whoever you want to throw in. If you want to throw
probably
Monte Morris or Austin Rivers, whoever you want to throw
That's a little small, but okay.
Yeah, but you have Jeff Green. You're playing small. Who cares?
Yeah.
You have Bol. Who the hell is this small?
You're still playing small. I don't care.
What is he, 7'2", 220?
Yeah.
He weighs 60 pounds more than me, and he's a foot and 4 inches taller or something like that. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
I saw him in person. He's a monster.
I know. He's huge. I guess like Jokic. Jokic, we didn't even talk about him. Jokic.
What's to mention? He's the MVP of the league. He's probably going to be the MVP of the league, if not top 3 voting again.
He'll be top 3.
He's phenomenally talented, and he's going to be expected to do more this year because Jamal Murray's going to be missing for the majority of the year. So, like, he's very good. He's the reason this system works, and he's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think the other guy to talk about is Aaron Gordon, signed an extension, obviously. I think
that's actually a good question. What is the expectation for AG?
Well, okay, so I don't think, and again, it's been a hot topic in our Discord over the last couple months. Aaron Gordon. I think him in Denver is perfect for him. Now, he's not a scorer. He's not. It's strictly not his game. But what he is able to do is his off-ball movement is so key, and his cuts are so key, and he fits so perfectly in this offense that a guy like Nikola Jokic, how skilled of a passer he is, Gordon's going to be asked to do a little bit more than he should be with Jamal Murray being out, which I get because basically your main scoring option is gone because Jamal Murray is the number 1 option on this team because Jokic is a facilitator. But yeah, basically. I think Aaron Gordon is going to be good, but again, too much in the beginning half of the season. And when we see Jamal Murray come back, I think that his scoring ability is going to drop a little bit, but his quality of play is going to raise once Jamal Murray comes back. It's just because this team was built for Jamal Murray to be the scorer, Jokic to be Jokic, and then Aaron Gordon to play off ball with a bunch of shooters around, 2 more shooters around.
Knock down open shots because you will have open looks because you have Nikola Jokic.
Nikola Jokic is just
that easy.
It's just what he does. Yeah. Is there any underrated players you want to touch on this team besides Bones? Because Bones is Bones. I just think Bones, like, playing as a primary or secondary ball handler off the bench, Bones is going to be so perfect for this team and he's shown it already in the preseason. He's just so good. I spoke about it. And
spoke into existence.
Nobody wanted to hear me. You know when the first time I mentioned him, Dave, but Ricky and I were doing a March Madness video and we were talking about players who could break out, and I'm like, you watched Nashawn Highland, and then their game got canceled because of COVID outbreak. So I didn't even get to watch it. But then he turned into a first round prospect. So I'm taking my victory lap already, even though he hasn't played an NBA game yet. Is there any players you want to touch on before we move on to the next team?
Give me low-key PJ Dozier.
Yeah,
I think he'll have another good opportunity this year, and I think he'll play pretty well.
Is that your buy for this team, PJ Dozier?
Not really, no.
Who's your buy
Buy
for this
is
team?
Jeff Green. Gushed about him for the first 5 minutes. I wish it was Bull, but I'm being too realistic.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
like
gonna say.
depressed at this point. I'm visibly dejected at my unhappiness about Mike Malone hating Bull.
It's fair.
I hope he gets traded.
I would agree. I hope
Can
he
I say
does.
that? I hope he gets traded. I hope this team makes moves.
I
Do
agree.
they need to? No.
No.
But should they? Yes.
Yeah, and who's your sell for this team?
Uh,
I thought you froze for a second. I was like,
I'm probably selling on like Austin Rivers. I think he little to no value add. I don't know that he'll have solid minutes throughout the entire year. That's my thought. Like I want to sell on like somebody bigger name, but like the top of the roster is just it's locked in, and I like all of those guys.
yeah.
There's not one guy who I'm like Will Barton could get hurt again. Sure,
I'll say that's what I'm gonna say. I'll sell Will Barton just because of his health concerns. If he stays healthy, he's a great bench player for them. It just is what it is. Dave, who do you think I'm gonna buy? Who do you think?
Is it Nishawn?
So sorry, it's Bones. It's Bones Highland.
Bones.
Bones Highland. He's phenomenal. He's just again, we talk about guys who are just gonna get buckets. That's what he does, and he also makes players around him better. He did it at VCU for multiple years. And then people failed on him for no reason and then he didn't come out in the draft. He came out and turned into a first round prospect. Who would have thought that a guy with his skill could be a first round prospect? But Dave, we're moving to the probably our favorite team in this division. Just a little team located in Oklahoma City called the Thunder. Shout out Sam Presti. We've gushed about him time again on this channel. But yeah, we'll talk about who they lost first. They lost, see these, Al Horford, traded him to the Boston Celtics, and Moses Brown, who was traded to the Celtics and then traded to Dallas. And in free agency, Kemba Walker.
Actually, they lost Kemba Walker,
but never played for them. Went to the New York Knicks, and Tony, aka Wendell Carter Jr.'s father, Bradley, went to the Chicago Bulls. You literally said he's not a backup center, so I don't want to see you fist pumping.
He's trash.
Unless he plays against Wendell, you have to. If Wendell starts, you start Tony Bradley. I don't care about Nikola Vucevic because he is Wendell Carter Jr.'s father.
All right.
They traded Derek Favors. Traded for Derek Favors. Jesus, yeah. In free agency, they re-signed Mike Muscala, and they re-signed SGA. The fact, we're not going to talk about this, but the fact that they were even considering getting rid of SGA was fucking ridiculous. I don't even want to touch on it because it doesn't even deserve the time, but I just need to put a note in there. It was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
In the draft, just Josh Giddey, number 6. Trey Mann, number 18. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, 32, and Aaron Wiggins, 55. Now let me say, two of my guys. Trey Mann was neither of ours. He just kind of.
I liked him as a shooting guard. I thought he was an ass. I thought he was absolutely shit as a point guard. But yeah.
And then Aaron Wiggins is one of your guys. But I just want to say that we talked about it in the Raptors that I was Nostradamus with having Scotty Barnes 4 on my big board. Yep. I had Josh Giddey 6, and look where he went 6 because Sam Presti and I just thinking
you got hookup
and Josh Giddey. In the preseason, ooh, he looks
the confidence. What about that behind the pack pass to himself into a step back?
Dude, it's almost like I've been preaching that he's
irrational confidence is so high, and I love it.
He did it in Australia too. He was just like, I'm so much better than all of you. And the main point for him, his shot looks whatever they did in the last 2 months. It's quick.
It's different.
His feet are set, and it looks more like. His shot before leaned a little bit. He looks more center now. Like Giddey and SGA, they have struggled somewhat together. They've looked amazing apart. I think it's going to take time, just like we talked about with Killian and Cade. It's going to take time for SGA and Giddey to mesh together. But when you look, SGA, Giddey, and Dort, like those three guys, like. By the way, Shai Gilgeous is just going to put up 25, 5, and 5 like he does. Like that is just what he does. SGA is a star. I think he's a star in the league. I think he's
just nobody recognized it because he got benched last year because he was too good.
Yeah, because they literally won those games.
Just stay home.
And Jeremiah Robinson Earl, another one we talked about a lot. I liked a lot in the draft. You were kind of on it.
Turns out not shooting threes is a big no for Dave. Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thought? But yeah, I mean, expectations. This team is not gonna win a lot of games.
That would be their goal, I would say. Their goal is to flip hang on, who's coming up on a contract?
I would literally look at this. Hold on.
Derek Favors is going to get traded. Baisley's got a decent chance to be traded. Ty Jerome's in year 2. It's probably time to cut the cord on him. DJ Wilson.
Dort's coming up.
Definitely. No, Dort got extended. We're keeping him. Like that, their core is literally just 3 men right now. I know a lot of people want to say Poku. Poku's more an experiment at this point in time. He's a fascination. He's an oddity.
I was gonna say like he's gonna be able to play bench minutes for this team and maybe add 5 pounds. Like
bench minutes. This motherfucker starts.
You think he starts? What do you think?
What's it matter? What's it matter? Like the thing. As the head coach of this team, my whole thing would just be like, I can do whatever I want because our goal is to lose games this year.
Yeah.
So I can run out a good lineup of like Shea, Dort, and your boy. Why can't I remember Giddy's name? And then, if you wanted to, you could play Poku at the 4 and Baisley at the 5. Sure, you could do that. You could play Roby out there. You could put JRE out there. Like, literally doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
None of it matters. Like, this has got to be like, this is just development year. So I don't think there's actually any care in the world as to any of this. This is just going to be a fun team to watch, and you're just going to root for development.
Top 5 team.
And you go
top 5 league pass team. Top 5.
Yes.
Top 5.
Absolutely. Teo Maledon, somebody who flew under the radar, quietly put together a really good second half of the season last year. I think he is a point guard in the NBA. I think he is good enough to do that. So again, I'm going to be super excited to watch him continue playing. So like, they just have all these interesting like pieces who I'm like, this is just going to be fun. They're not going to be good, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And anytime they win, it's going to be like, did they mean that? Did they fuck up?
they're gonna randomly blow some teams out that they shouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Just randomly, because SJ will have a 35-point performance. Giddy will have 15 assists. Like, that's just the kind of stuff that's gonna happen with this team. But like,
absolutely.
At the time, I think they, again, I will never, and I'll let this out here. I'll let out this, but I would never question Sam Presti and what he does, minus the SGA thing. That is the only thing that I questioned. The Harden trade too, but he was kind of forced into that, so I don't really question him for that, because it's kind of like the Morey and the Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook trade that Morey just didn't want to do, and people started blaming him for it. I think that's the same thing in this team with that Harden trade. It's hard.
How many picks do they have next year?
I don't even, Dave. I've stopped counting.
Like 3, 4,
something like that. I've stopped counting, to be honest. Because
I'll pull up Tankathon. Let's see.
I think it's very interesting because there's so much young talent on this team. I think the only guys who are locked in for the future that I think are going to be part of their what?
Only have 4.
Oh, only? Are they all firsts?
They have theirs. They have the Clippers. They have Phoenix, and they have OKC. That can't be right, is that?
No.
They got 3 firsts and a second.
I mean, 3. You're acting like 3 firsts isn't a lot. I was gonna say that's still a lot.
The second's protected. Okay.
Well, and Dave, they're gonna get another one when they trade players. They're gonna get another first from somebody. That's what they do. That's what they do. There's just so much young talent on this team. Now, I think the only 3 that are locked in for the future are going to be Giddy, SGA, and Dort. Like, those are the only 3 that I think long term you have a vision. I guess quickly on a broader topic with the Thunder, because we know what they are. They're not going to win a lot of games. They're going to be very exciting.
Yep.
I am on the mark, and I think you are too. And this is the way to build a team. This is a way to build a long-term amount of success and championship contending, is to lose games purposely. I know that some people hate it. Some people despise it. You know what? To a degree, I get it. But we've seen so many teams stuck in purgatory that a guy like Sam Presti being like, no, we're just going to suck. And I don't care about, like, I think most OKC fans, I have a couple of friends who are OKC fans, have bought into it. They've bought into, let's suck for a couple of years to get this top-end talent. You're already seeing it with SGA. You're already, in the preseason, seeing it with Giddy, guys like Dort, guys like Darius Baisley, guys like Theo Maledon. Like,
it's Poku, man.
Poku, maybe. Poku's the maybe.
That's a big asterisk out there. We were having this fun game do you remember during the offseason when I was extremely bored and getting all analytical? I was seeing players who had the best stats when they played, like all these limited time guys who would be like super high per 36s. Like, let's see what happens when you take a player who did get the opportunity, and like, let's see guys who only will take their performances when they played over like 25 minutes.
Yep.
And Poku actually was a really interesting case because it seemed like he just got better the longer he played.
Yeah.
Which seems like a no-duh thing, but it's not always a guarantee.
No.
Some guys really shine in low minutes, and they're able to be super effective. But Poku is a guy who seemed like, well, he's on the floor. The better he gets, the longer he's out there. So I think that one, I think he could be part of this court. But again, I'm going in with very low expectations for him again because, like, I'm sorry, he's just a goofy motherfucker out there at times.
He
like,
just doesn't look like a basketball player, man. He's skinnier than Brandon Ingram was, and that's saying something.
The shot falls sometimes, and other times it doesn't. He just doesn't care. Like,
Yeah.
He has the right mentality to succeed. I'm rooting for him, but I'm with you. I think there are 3 locks on this roster. Outside of that, everybody else is up for grabs.
And Giddey could
If Sam Presti gets a first-round offer, your ass is gone.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, he doesn't care. Derek Favors is going to be a mentor for like 40 games, and then he's going to be traded.
I think 40 is pretty generous. Probably sooner than that. But yeah, one player to buy and one player to sell on the Oklahoma City Thunder, Dave.
Buy all of them, man.
We're both going to sell
love
Derek Favors. We know that.
Yeah, both selling Derek Favors.
Because that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. There's just no reason that he's their biggest contract, by the way. How fucking funny is that?
SGA is. SGA is.
I think SGA is on his final year of his rookie.
Oh, okay, well, biggest contract. He's under contract for the...
He's the highest paid player on the team this year.
Jesus Christ.
Like, that's why this is dumb.
And he knows what, and you know what? And he knows what he's doing. That, like,
yeah.
Is anybody really... I know some old heads are questioning, like, you can't lose games like this, blah, blah. I'm like, yes, unless you need a superstar in this league to win, or else you are not going to win shit. So
what, did you want them to go out and overpay for Kyle Lowry or Mike Conley?
And Kyle Lowry wouldn't have went there.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have. Like,
they could have done a deal. They could have thrown a lot of money if the Raptors were meanies and didn't respect their face of the franchise for the last 5 years. Sorry, I'm dodging the question. I'm gonna go. I've been talking about the entire time. We'll just go with Poku. Let's put my guy to watch.
Buy Poku?
I'll buy Poku. Why not? He should get good looks. He's got like 3 point guards out there this year.
Yeah. I'm buying all the way Josh Giddey. Not surprising, he is.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to take your guy. Yeah,
he's my guy. And also buy SGA because for some reason he doesn't get the damn respect that he deserves because he's
already so good. I just don't know how much his stats are going to increase.
I'm saying more in terms of like respect than
okay, yeah, league wide respect, media respect, 100%. He's the face of the franchise. Super excited for him.
Yep. And then the last team, Dave. This
is the team.
The Minnesota Timberwolves. They traded Ricky Rubio to the Cleveland Cavaliers. No draft picks. Free agency. If you want to play a game of guys I've never heard of, we can talk about them signing Nathan Knight and McKinley Wright.
I know McKinley Wright.
Yeah, well, good for you. In a trade, they acquired Taurean Prince and Patrick Beverley. I mean, man.
They are bringing in their first-round pick from last year, though.
Yes.
And Leandro Balmero.
Yes. So, I think this team gets crapped on a lot, obviously, because they're poor man management over the last couple of years. But I think I saw a stat today that D'Lo's played like 75 games for the Timberwolves or something like that. And Cat and Ant only played like 25 of those games with him. When Cat, Ant, and D'Lo were on the roster and playing, they looked good. Like, you look good. You look good. Yep. That's what it is. And Malik Beasley, congrats on getting out of jail. You're not in jail anymore. What is the expectation for this team this year? With those
three... a playoff team. This is 100% a playoff team. There's no way they avoid the playoffs without a major injury happening.
I was going to say that's your asterisk.
Yeah, I mean, you have to throw the asterisk in there with Karl-Anthony Towns. I think that they have so much top-end talent. It's insane. If they underachieve to a level where they can't make the playoffs, I just don't see it. Like, they need to be healthy, but once they're healthy, like, Ant's a fucking monster out there. I doubted his will to play basketball because he put it out there that he didn't give a fuck about playing basketball. And I think that's valid.
Yeah.
But it turns out when he's on that court, he's just an athletic beast who attacks the rim, whose shot has looked better. Intensity is there. Like, he doesn't hold anything back. And I think that I respect him much more now after watching him for a year than I did for everything leading up. His college time and his interview process during the draft, like, sold me on him being a completely different player. And I guess that's like kind of the thing that, just a warning that the media spins these sort of stories and what gets leaked out there versus what doesn't. But he's been awesome. And I think that he's going to be the face of the franchise for a long time. So I'm super excited for Ant. D'Lo, I mean, I love fucking D'Lo. So like they have such good top end talent. It's just the fact that they kind of have nothing after that.
Okay,
McDaniels was
I
a
was
great find
gonna
late in
say
the draft.
I think we slightly disagree because I think this team does have some quality behind him.
Really?
Malik Beasley
Okay.
is quality. I think Ricky Rubio probably starts with them. And
Rubio's on the Cavs.
why was
He
they got
left
rid of
the
him?
team. They got
Yeah, that's what I was
Bev.
thinking. It's not what I meant. Patrick Beverly, thank you. Wrong point guard. Patrick Beverly probably starts with D'Lo, Ant, Cat, and Vanderbilt.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they were starting McDaniels over Vanderbilt. We'll see
yeah.
if they continue to do so this year.
Yeah.
There's an argument both ways, though.
I think McDaniels and Vanderbilt are both very solid. Malik Beasley is very solid, and I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? Nas Reed. That's what I was missing. Nas just become a
the
very
bench killer.
I would say a very capable backup center and one of the best backup centers in the league. Like
Scores so easily.
if you get anything out of Leandro Balmero, and I assume they're going to again, this is a team heavy in the Ben Simmons trade rumors. Like I get why they're going for it because maybe they think they need another ball handler. I do tend to agree with that because I'm not okay. I do like what Finch did second half of the year. Obviously, he was shadily hired because they literally hired in the middle of a season a coach from a different coaching staff the night of firing their coach. Like, no wonder
There's a handshake deal there.
no wonder their president got fired. For shady dealings.
I don't. Okay.
I don't fully agree with that, but
yeah,
I could see why he got fired. To be fair,
the man flipped the entire roster over in a matter of 2 years. I think he deserves some credit for that. I mean, is he a great person outside of his job? Who knows? But, did he do a good job on this roster? I think so.
In the business world, it really doesn't matter what you do off the job because nobody really cares as long as you do a good job on the job. Seems like new ownership taking a different approach. Yeah, this team. You say guaranteed playoffs if they stay healthy. I think they should be there. My question is, are they there? Because one, like you said, I don't have faith in their health for the entire year. D'Lo and Cat question marks. I do like when Finch came in towards the end of the year. Ant was used more as a primary ball handler for them than he was throughout the year, and that seemed to work. It seemed like Ant took that step in the second half of his rookie season. Like Ant got crapped on for being the number one pick so much. And obviously LaMelo's great and all that.
I'd say LaMelo came out and was dropping triple doubles to start the year while Ant was shooting like 2 of 12. So like to be fair.
But then when LaMelo was out, Ant balled out. And Ant to the point where LaMelo, yes, of course he still won Rookie of the Year because he was always going to win Rookie of the Year if he came back and played at the end of the year. Ant was by far the second best player in this class. He was fantastic. It goes a little bit
the second half of the year, he put up 24, 5, and 4.
He's a freak.
With a steal and a half a game and almost a block a game.
He's a freak.
On 45, 34,
and he murdered a man.
shooting.
And he murdered a man.
Yeah, he flat out clowned out. Yeah.
He murdered a man.
8 threes a game he was taking.
He's walking
insanity.
If he takes those numbers and even cuts them down a little bit, if he's in the Eastern Conference, he's making the All-Star team. Like that is what he walked into the NBA as an elite wing basically. Like that is exactly what he
100%.
is. D'Lo and him playing together. I would love for them to get a facilitating ball handler to play at the point guard so they can both play a little bit. And
do you think we're going to see that lineup of Pat Bev at the 1, D'Lo at the 2, and at the 3?
Yeah, I think we do. I think I think Finch is a very good coach. I'll lay that out there first. I think Finch is a very good coach. I think that is probably their best lineup, unless you want to take out defensively. I think you have to because make up for D'Lo. I think Malik Beasley might get some of those minutes too that Pat Bev would have. So you just go all out buckets because you're playing Cat, Malik Beasley, D'Lo, and Ant. Like Jaden McDaniels, you playing defense. Good luck, everybody else. That's literally about it. That's literally our lineup. Like this team could slowly become a fun league pass watch because of the amount of talent that they have in scoring ability. They have some guys like Nas Reed. I mean, if they're going to make the playoffs, they're going to have to make a trade in the. Listen, we'll have to touch on it because they are, and the name that keeps coming up because they are one of the teams in the sweepstakes is Ben. I get the want for Ben, but to get Ben, they would have to trade D'Lo, and I'm not quite sure I'm willing to give up on this 3 right away because it'd be D'Lo plus stuff. Morey's not taking Beasley, McDaniels, or whatever.
You're getting D'Lo and it would be D'Lo, Kogi, McDaniels, and 3 firsts or something like that.
Some ridiculous thing, and Minnesota fans probably losing his mind right now.
And that's fair.
Okay, I agree. I don't think that there's a deal to be done here because I don't think I'm willing to give up that much value for the Timberwolves when let me see what I have in D'Lo, Ant, and Cat. And if we get to the trade deadline and they've all been healthy and we're not winning games, then I think we can reevaluate a little bit. And I think that's what might happen is if they really are under 500 or just hovering by 500 by the trade deadline, Ben will probably still be a Sixer by then. January rolls around. That's probably when we start seeing real trade offers when a team underachieves. If Minnesota is that team and you're willing to give up D'Lo on that to get Ben, I mean, a Ben, Ant, and Cat 3, Cat and Ben are really good friends. It'd be an interesting watch. I'm just not sure. Like I said, I want to see what is from D'Lo, Cat, and Ant before I make any decisions.
Yeah, no, it's totally fair. And actually, as a Sixers fan, I'm glad you're keeping it so grounded because you understand that the ask is ridiculous. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, somebody's got to pull the trigger on this.
Somebody will.
It's a matter of time.
It's like the Harden thing last year. Like, all he did was play. He played Harden because he's Harden, but you could see that he didn't.
Harden put out effort in one game.
Yes.
He's like, I still got it, and then he's like, and I can turn it off just as easily.
Yeah. And Ben for tomorrow for the game because we're recording this on Thursday for the last preseason game, he's doubtful, but it's not out, so it seems like he's going to play at some point. It's just like
there were some comments coming in about the vibe and the effort.
We'll see.
I'm putting out that. I'm just saying.
See.
Rumors is rumors.
Rumors will always swirl around. But yeah, I think that the Timberwolves are a team that's flying a little bit under the radar, but could slip into that 9-10 spot in my mind, especially if they stay healthy all year. They'll be a fun watch. They need some bench help if we're going to get to that point by the deadline. We'll see where we are talking. We'll probably be talking about them in December, January, either as a team that's surprising people or a team that's going to up their efforts for Ben Simmons.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. So one player to buy and one player to sell for the final time in our season previews.
I mean, it's McDaniels for me. I was disgusted by the fact that he fell so far in the draft after being a top talent coming into the draft, and he literally did nothing wrong. Just a bunch of shitty GMs, honestly. And he proved it already. And which is weird is he proved on the defensive end something that people were taking knocks on him for in college. So fuck you to them. Yeah. Seller on this team, Pat Bev. I know he's a locker room scumbag. Like, he's a scumbag if he's not on your team. He's the Mike Dunleavy Jr. effect going.
Let me say, if the Sixers did trade for the Timberwolves, I bet you Patrick Beverley would be in that deal.
100%.
Yeah.
You are 100% back getting Pat Bev.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't like him, and I don't know. I think he's primed to succeed. Here's the problem. I think he's primed to succeed on this roster. I think this is like the best place for him to do well, but I can't root for him. It physically would hurt me.
Yeah. And you bought it already.
I bought McDaniels. Yeah.
I'm gonna buy Patrick Beverley because fuck you, Dave. Because I like Patrick Beverley.
Like I said, he has every reason to be very good this year with the amount of spacing and talent around him. He should look phenomenal.
Yeah, I will buy him there, and I'll sell. It's tough to sell on this team,
right? Like, I guess you got to pick on a Kogi.
I guess I'll sell a Kogi because I like a Kogi. Like, I just think his offensive game's a little bit inconsistent, but again, on this team, he's probably not going to be asked to do too much offensively.
He's a defender.
He'll be playing with Malik Beasley most likely on off the bench, and Beasley is, again, we talked about best guards off the bench. Beasley's name is right there every year. He's been consistent for I don't even know how many years now. He's been great. But yeah, that'll do it, Dave. That is our final season preview.
All 6, baby.
All 6.
If you guys haven't seen all 6 of our fucking previews, check it out. We covered every single team in the NBA this year, and even a little bit of G League commentary made it in there.
A little bit.
Honestly, it's been a fucking ride. 6+ hours of content. We're a little out of practice, so thank you for sticking with us. You will see our video also for our predictions for this upcoming season, followed by a bunch of content coming weekly after that. So if you want to get that content a week earlier, though, check us out on Patreon.
And channel memberships. And
the channel membership. Link is down below.
And check out our Discord down below if you want to join the greatest community in the world. But as Dave said, thank you so much for watching. If you did make it to the end of this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to get notified when we go live or post a video, and also hit that like button and leave a comment, Minnesota. You know, you can compliment me we can compliment both of us on complimenting your team, when I'm sure most people just kind of skip over the Timberwolves at this point. But yeah, I know that for me and Dave, you will see us again in our predictions video, but we are very excited for the NBA to start. It's just in a couple days now. Yeah, it's going to be a fun year. We'll be posting out content all year long. And again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope everybody has a great day.